Okay, so now that we've done our drawing and tool paths at home, you should bring the file into the Forest Products building and the computer lab and open up the file there where we have the full-blown version of Mastercam 2023. So I've pulled the drawing up here, it's got the tool paths here, we're ready to produce our G code. So if we click on G1, it'll default to this post processor, and that's the one we want to always use, so we just say OK. And then it asks how you want to save your G file, what kind of name you want to have on it, and I'll just call it parts. You want to save this on your flash drive so that then you can take your flash drive to the CNC router and cut your parts there. I'll just say save here to my flash drive, and let me find a good place to put it. I'll save it there. I'll call it parts. And first thing it asks me is what my Z shift is. So this is material thickness. So when we were doing our tool paths, we were calling our depth to cut -0.5. So here we're going to say Z offset is 0.5. We'll hit enter. X offset is the length of your plywood, so it's 60 inches. And then the Y is the height of the plywood, so it's 30 inches. And then the fence location, we always use 1002. And when you actually come into the lab to cut your parts, I'll explain a little bit better what these things represent on the CNC router. So I'll hit enter, and now it's calculating all my G-code lines. So it comes up here and it shows you your G-code program. So everything in green or parentheses is just for your information, and then the stuff in black, red or not in parentheses is for the CNC router to read. So if you want to set a timer, which after the part's all cut, it'll come up on the computer screen on the CNC router how long it took to cut. You could change this set timer to 1. It doesn't matter for me, but I'll just go ahead and change that. And then there's different things in here, how fast the router will move around circles. The go 90 means just kind of turning things on. We have the material thickness, width and height. G902 is, it actually changes that 1002 that you typed in to G902 for fence location. And then it says to pick up tool 1, turn it on, start spinning it at 20,000 RPMs, and then go to these XY locations. And then it'll tell you to go to a Z of 1, and then dive down into -0.5. And so that's where it's drilling those holes, and then it lifts it back up, and then it goes to the other one. So you can read this G code and kind of see what's going on, where it's moving, and kind of troubleshoot to make sure you don't see any problems here. The J's and the I's are for when it's doing a radius. So now sometimes G code could be 100,000 lines of code long, and it's hard to troubleshoot that. Generally what I do is just look at the first 20 or so lines of code to make sure everything looks good, and this one looks pretty good. It's easy to make a mistake and say, instead of putting a -0.5 for your depth to cut, you put -5, and if that happens, the CNC router will try to go 5 inches below the table and something will break. So that's basically what I'm looking for. I want to keep things from breaking. So we'll hit OK. It's already saved. Well, I did make a change here. I changed the timer to 1. So it says, do I want to save it? I'll just say yes. But if you don't make any changes, it's already saved it, so you don't have to do that. So then what you'll do is you'll take your flash drive out to the CNC router, and at that point I will walk you through how to load your G code, how to locate the material. And really you can't operate the CNC router by yourself. It takes me to operate it. It's a very expensive machine. We want to make sure nothing breaks, so I'm going to gonna double check your program, make sure everything looks okay, and I'll be the one that actually starts the program, and that way it's my responsibility if something breaks. So anyway, I hope that helps you a little bit on making the G code, and good luck.